From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a film review for you. Today I'll be reviewing the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze, released in 1991. Starring Paige Turco, David Warner, and McLean Sisti. Directed by Michael Pressman. The synopsis is: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael discover the secret of the ooze that created them. I'm actually doing this one as a special request to one of my very first subscribers. Josh, this one's for you. The story. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first began as a black and white comic book created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird in 1984. In 1986, Dark Horse Miniatures produced a set of lead figurines. Playmates Toys produced action figures in 1987 and greatly contributed to many of the popular catchphrases to the miniseries that launched the toys. The show was then picked up by CBS, and the rest was franchise history as it went on to play for 10 seasons until 1996 and populate a flurry of entertainment up until even today. The TV series had to change a few things to make it more kid-friendly and fun, since the original comics were actually a lot more mature and darker. In 1990, a live-action feature film was released as an independent film and ignited the imagination of children, specifically young boys. It did quite well in the box office and encouraged many toy sales. The powers that be thought there should be a rush to capitalize off the success of the first movie before its core audience got too bored of the franchise. Within a year of the first film, we got this movie, its sequel, possibly too prematurely, not allowing their audience a chance to desire something new. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird was hoping to have more leverage on the second go-round so that the film would resemble the original comics more than the TV show. However, the studio and director Michael Pressman sought to make the film more like the cartoon show, which makes more sense from a marketing and branding point of view. The fans were the kids that watched the TV show, and I think in that respect, the screenplay by Todd W. Langen was written more in line with the TV show more than even the first film did. Of the three movies from the 1990s, this film has the most slapstick puns, gags, and jokes that pretty much come at you at a rapid fire, referencing a lot of movies and pop culture of the time. When the turtles are heading to the sewer to find a new home, Michelangelo says a few lines from Casablanca, released in 1942. Professor Perry's glass of mutagen antidote has a picture of Bart Simpson from The Simpsons Show, released in 1989, on it. This links the two shows since both of them commandeer the word cowabunga as a catchphrase. The Karate Kid, released in 1984, was adorably parodied, wax on, wax off. We also have a few callbacks from the first movie. April's apartment is visited by someone unexpected while the turtles hide in random places throughout her apartment. Raphael is outnumbered and overtaken in a fight. The turtles band together to rescue someone who is captured from their family. Splinter says cowabunga after saving the turtles. The pacing. At an hour and 28 minutes, this is usually about the time you really need for an action-adventure film, to be honest, in my opinion. And I usually never say this, but it could have been a little longer. And I would have been totally okay with it, and I'll explain why when I get to the ending portion of the review. The challenge. The challenge in the film is the mysterious band of foot soldiers and their leader, the Shredder. In the last movie, the Foot were disbanded and many put to jail. Shredder was dumped in a garbage compactor, and in this film, Shredder is reborn from the garbage piles at a dump and returns to the remaining gathered Foot clan being organized by Tetsu, his right-hand man. And this is where we get a clear motive for Shredder's actions, as he now wants revenge for what the Turtles has done to him, which is more concrete than his motives from even the first film. He gets the idea to pit mutant against mutant, creating the monsters Toka from a snapping turtle and Reza from a wolf. There's a theme of birth and rebirth in relation to Shredder because he creates these monsters that have bonded with him as their mother figure. As well, Shredder experiences a rebirth twice as he reaches his hand out of rubble, emerging different from the way he was before. All this sets you up for the ending, when you think he's going to do it for one last time. But the film surprises you because he doesn't quite make it. The empathy. The heroes of the film, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, are named after Renaissance Italian artists and color-coded so you can tell them apart. In case you know nothing about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, here's the quick rundown. We have Leo, named after Leonardo da Vinci, and he wears a blue mask and wields two katana. He's the most responsible and probably the most quiet. Ralph, he wears a red mask. He wields a pair of sai, and he is the one teenager of the group that has the most angst, and he's always arguing with Leo about his decisions as a leader. But the thing to remember is that he is quite inquisitive, and he's always the one looking to seek answers. Michelangelo, Mikey, wears an orange mask and wields a pair of nunchucks. He's a consummate joker of the group and has a very surfer dude, Bill and Ted sound. Donatello, Donnie, wears the purple mask and wields a bow staff. He's the thinker, making cool gadgets and usually coming up with good ideas for solving problems. The film focuses on him a little more than in other iterations, and the Ooze seems to spark a little disappointment in him because he wanted their mutations to really mean something special. He wanted their existence in the world to be something meaningful. And it is, but he's taking it very literal. Splinter is a Japanese mutant rat that learned the ways of ninjutsu from his owner and master, Hamato Yoshi. And somehow he's made his way to New York City. The same Ooze transformed him into the humanoid mutant, and then he became the turtle's sensei and adoptive father. It's through their relationship with Splinter that the film really has the most heart and humanity, as he guides the turtles along the way with words of wisdom often told and what sounds like riddles, right? He has an almost Yoda way of speaking. I mean, you can imagine an interesting conversation between those two characters, can't you? Typically, this odd family lives in the sewers of New York City, but after the adventure of the last film, they sought refuge at a news reporter and friend, April O'Neil's new apartment. April O'Neil really doesn't play a big part in this movie, except to interview the professor, who is now trying to contain the secret of the Ooze from the public. The professor is a good guy, caught between trying to do the right thing for the environment and covering up the mistakes that his company has made, and trying to stay alive after he's captured by Shredder. and is forced to create Tokka and Razor under protest. The technical aspects. I think the piece that makes The Secret of the Ooze conversation worthy is how completely different in tone the film is from the first movie. The one big difference is that in spite of its success, parents who took their kids to see the first movie complained that it was too violent, hoping to double its $135 million gross earnings. The producers wanted the film to be more family friendly. They removed the character of Casey Jones, the voice of Corey Feldman for his public image, and demanded that the turtles not use their signature weapons, especially the sharp-edged ones. It's kind of odd because these were the very same weapons prominently featured in every cartoon episodes that the children were seeing every week. I thought that this film still had a lot of exciting moments considering the limitations it had. The fight scenes were pretty cool. I loved the body language of all the actors in the turtle suits. They were really great and they helped to bring those characters to life. The 4 turtles were in full body suits and had a head attached with expressions controlled by remote control operators. Of all the movies, this film had the very best of the most realistic, smooth facial movements and design. I really enjoyed all of that technical effort that was placed into the design of the turtles. It looked excellent. It's the best, I think, of all 3 of the movies. There were a few areas where you could see some seams and some imperfections, but they all seemed to be very minimal compared to the other 2 films. Splinter's puppet design and facial expressions were amazing. I was really impressed with the work on his character and how the puppeteers could get so much visual drama from him in a very elegant way to tell the story. Again, the best of the 3 movies. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were able to pull rank as they refused the usage of Shredder's beastly henchmen, Bebop and Rocksteady, to appear for reasons unknown. And instead, the writers created Tokka and Razor as substitutions to demonstrate the power of the Ooze and to pose a threat to the turtles. The switch seems to be a very sensitive topic for many of the hardcore fans out there, and I can understand why, but I thought Tokka and Razor were fine in this movie. The designs seem to be mostly concentrated on making the characters obviously cartoonish. The way the film is shot, the colors that were used were just much brighter than the first film, and I think that took people by surprise. They really punched up the colors. There were lots of bold, bright staging. There was a lot of cartoon fashioned establishing shots, and I enjoyed all of that. I thought the visual look of the film was really entertaining, and there were some really great shots featuring slow-moving dolly work and zooms that I really enjoyed. I loved the movement of the camera in this film. Now the performances. The performances were all pretty good. Judith Hoag was in the first movie as April O'Neil. However, she did not reprise her role. Paige Turco took over as April O'Neil and did very well. Also of note is Ernie Reyes Jr. playing Kino, the teen pizza boy that discovers that the turtles live with April. Ernie was Donatello's fight double in the first film, and the producers really felt that he should have been in front of the camera. So they created this role for him and made him as sort of a kiddie-friendly replacement for Casey Jones. As a special little tidbit, Michael Jai White makes an uncredited appearance in the film as one of the Foot Clan's recruit. the best part of the film? Well, for me, I really loved all of the goofing around in this film and all of the fun that the turtles are having. I just found myself smiling throughout the film. And it's just one of those things. I didn't mind that this film was more lighthearted and more had more levity to it. I didn't mind that at all. I really love the connection between Splinter and the boys. I just really love listening to him as he doles out all of that great dialogue and they gather around to listen. It's a very touching and special kind of relationship that they have. I love that. My favorite is Splinter's discipline technique of making the turtles do flips. I absolutely love that feature, and I thought it was, yes, he's teaching them how to be better ninjas, but he's also, disciplining them when they're doing things that are wrong. At the end, Shredder does take a small vial of the mutagen, turning him into a Super Shredder. And I thought that was such a cool moment. I absolutely loved Super Shredder. He's amazing. The ending was greatly disappointing to me, and that is a shared sentiment by many, many viewers. I was really hoping for an incredible showdown between Shredder and the turtles, even Splinter. It just wrapped up so quickly, and it didn't give you a chance to really absorb what was happening. It's like, really, that's it? We could have used a minute or two of actual fighting to make that scene even more satisfying and dramatic. We should really feel that when Shredder dies, we should really earn it. I was also sure that the docks that fell onto Shredder was directly underneath the dance club. That whole ending scene just seems so mismatched and odd. It didn't work out spatially for me. Now the wish list. Now our wish list is kind of long, so bear with me on this one. I kind of wish we did actually learn what the secret of the ooze was, because we had hoped that there was more to it in the film, and this leaves it as an ambiguous possibility for future storytelling, which is actually kind of good. There's a possible link to the story of the Utroms that was part of the original black and white comics. Utroms had a front company called TCRI, Techno-Cosmic Research Institute, and the professor works for TGRI, Techno Global Research Industries. So this could have been a hint to that storyline and could have led to something really big in the third film. However, it didn't. No, I loved Master Splinter so much that I really would have loved to have seen more scenes with him in it. I understand that it's a puppet and you can't really, there's a lot of limitations to what puppets can do, but again, it still would have been nice to see him do more in the film. And I wish that the Super Shredder was brought in a little bit earlier in the film so we could have had more of him. I love the great twist on his character, and I really wanted to see more of the Super Shredder in action. We know that the turtles can't use their weapons because of what I've explained to you about the production. They still wear them throughout the entire film, but the movie never explains why they don't use their weapons. I feel like that could have been interwoven into the storyline, like something where Master Splinter tells them that they can't use their weapons or takes the weapons away in order to teach them how to depend on their skills as a ninja. I thought that would have been cool. Now, my enjoyment. I might disappoint a lot of people here, but I have to say that I have yet to see a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that I didn't like or enjoy. Even the third in the series has been universally panned by the critics. I like that movie. I like them all. And it's definitely not nostalgia goggles, because I think I was a grown woman by the time all this stuff started happening. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, are a great creative and fun concept. So I know that the content isn't going to be compelling and deep and thought-provoking. I know it's going to be light and fun and maybe even unbelievable. And I have to say I enjoyed it. And in an effort to make the film more family-friendly, surprisingly, the most charming part of the film is the important message about the value of family. That completely surprised me, and in a very nice way. And I was like, wow, okay, there you go. There's the heart of the story. In my opinion, I think it's a great movie for kids and those who are kids at heart. My rating is an 8.4. Well guys, that sums up my review. I hoped you liked it. This is Retro Nerd Girl signing off. Take care, movie lovers. I'm off to my next review.